Hi, I think I'm able to. I think you're able to listen to me. I thought that I would start this particular weekly musings edition so that people will know as to what's happening in the sporting world. And I'll pick up certain specific sports. And as of now, because it is the cricket season, I think I will start with cricket first. And weekly music is going to be a weekly affair where I will be talking more about game analysis. Take a general sport and pick up certain games, whatever the format of that. Some games have different formats, and based on the formats that game is played, we'll pick up some of the international tournaments and we will analyze few games in that. Game analysis or analysis of any sporting event has many specialists talking about the sport, or they normally talk about the game in a particular mindset. But for a common fan of the sport, he wants his questions and his comments and his observations about the game has to be included for somebody to have a holistic enjoyment or a content that can improve your awareness of the game. Sometimes we will have many questions as to certain decisions taken on the sporting field, why they have been taken, whether they were right or wrong. Does it make a good case study? Does it become an area of improvement in the sport? These are all, and there will be certain issues with the rules, how they are implemented in a game, and there will be some controversies, and there will be certain great performances of sports persons. So weekly musings is going to be dedicated for sports review, and in weekly musings I will be also adding few more uh, categories. One is sports, another will be film, third will be politics, fourth will be finance, international finance, and fifth will be a consumer lending, sixth will be business modeling and business improvement programs. I think weekly musings on these topics, 6 to 7 topics, each day one, as a weekly musing on one particular category, will go a long way in taking to the next level. Well, when I started this particular channel, I did not really want to make it a live stream option. But now I think that I should do it, and I'm doing this now, basically to give you an idea as to what's going to happen. So today for our discussion, let's take cricket. Normally, if you watch many of the YouTube channels where the cricket analysts rip open a game and analyze, you see few channels have more subscribers, few channels have biased way of looking at it because they have their favorite team and they talk about it, and they come out with their videos and upload their own knowledge of the game. They will enhance by talking about certain games which their favorite team has played. There are also many neutral sports fans, generic sports fans, who look at a game and comment on the game from the perspective of what they felt went wrong in that game, or how the game was played, and what are the key highlights of that game. There are also another kind of analysis where deep technical analysis of the game is also done by few of the analysts, and they come out with graphics, and interpretation. This I want to make it kind of a talk show where I will go ahead with the game and discuss about the game in a particular mode. So the mode in which I will operate is basically a streaming video. Then in the comment section, if you come out with certain comments and suggestions, then I can link it to your Zoom, the podcast, and I can also create podcasts and link it to my YouTube channel. That's another thing that I'm looking at it, depending upon the kind of traction we get. I've been an avid follower of cricket for more than 50 years now. In last 50 years, I have listened to most of the cricket matches, or I have watched cricket matches live, or I have followed cricket very religiously as a game right from my childhood. As early as when I was 8 years old, I used to collect all the cricketers' photos which used to be published in the newspapers, take their cutting and stick it into a book and preserve that. Well, those days there were no other medium of communication other than radio and print. So broadcast media was very minimal reach in India. So print media was our uh, the go-to channel for finding out stories about games, what happened, and that's how we used to enrich ourselves. Today, the digital platforms and the online social media and the online platforms have enabled us, internet has enabled live streaming of matches. And because of that, what has happened is today we are able to have the larger reach, means there will be many fans who want a very qualitative analysis of a game. When I do an analysis of a game, I do it not from a technical point of view to find out what went right or what went wrong, but I want to go from a perspective of as an ordinary spectator of the sport. If it is a spectator sport, there can be many games which are not spectator sport. For that, the analysis will be very technical, and that will be any game can be analyzed. So what I feel is for any spectator sport, I would like to take the view of a spectator and then present it to you so that you people really know exactly what I'm talking about. So, my first of my attempts in doing this is I'm doing it from my bedroom here, and I'm not really done any of the background settings and all that, so that I want you to know that I am one amongst you who sits in your own in our own home and watch the TV and watch the match and enjoy, and we have certain emotions that are attached to the game as we enjoy the game, right? And sometimes we get bored with a particular kind of a game, and sometimes we get fully charged up and fully involved in the game. So, as a fan, as a common fan, it's very difficult to get a perspective of the game as a fan perspective. You need not the view of somebody who has played the game and then making an analysis. Many people, you will find many channels like that. But somebody who has only watched the game and who has never played it professionally any time in his career, okay, other than just knowing the game, for him, what happens? What will be his thinking about the game? This is a very funny and very different kind of a viewpoint that many people disagree or agree. But here, I may not create any controversies, but I can really tell you the emotions that are associated with a game, whether they can be tempered, trying to be a sane fan who looks at a game objectively as a game rather than becoming cult are personality promoting the personality personalities and cults that we generate in sport are something that we emotionally follow, and on social media we go and vent our feelings and emotions after a game on the social media. But as a fan who has a very practical way of looking at game, because any game at the end of the day is only for entertainment. Professional, like a professional artist perform for a movie, a game, a sport event is basically to bring that spirit of competitiveness and also to bring in the spirit of sportsmanship in every individual. When you play, you are actually sticking to certain rules, and thereby there are many life lessons that we will learn when we go through a game scenario, and we have an opportunity to learn from the game. That is why my weekly musings will be more like going ahead and looking at some of these games, and cricket will be one of them. And I will be recording and publishing a particular video rather than doing it live. And once I do one or two of them, if you really like it, then we will take it from there. So this is my first attempt at a weekly musings and going live on the YouTube channel. I have done many live shows on Facebook and other things. Now I have withdrawn myself from some of those social platforms for various reasons. Of first of all, the kind of time that is involved and the kind of issues that I have with respect to the content being uh, to keep the content curated and as well as kept to the right kind of audience. I find that the other uh, social media platforms are not so encouraging, and I am not comfortable with it, especially where I'm looking at a serious kind of analysis of games as a fan perspective. This particular perspective of a fan about a game is very rarely you see this kind of a channel. Yes, you find some comedians and others coming out with some memes and then trying to talk about it, but that's a different kind of a show and content altogether, where sport becomes a theme for their humor. Here, I'm not looking at humor aspect. Here I'm looking at an objective analysis of the game, whether it was really entertaining game or it was a boring game. Did it really entertain? Did it bring anything out? Or who were the kind of players who were involved? What is what is there to learn from them, from that particular game, both for the sportsmen and the teams and as well as for fans. Okay, ultimately for a fan it's a entertainment value. Okay, so similar kind of games, next time when you watch the game, how to enjoy a game, many fans don't know. So at that time, how to enjoy a game, that also can be a learning for some of the fans. So I think I'm going to end the stream with this, and then I will look at it later.